job.
Hi, I'm Steve Boyle.
I love you.
Love you too.
Love you more.
Love you more. In the first half of the 20th century, there lived a theater theorist named Antonin Artaud. Artaud had two main beliefs with which I very much identified. The first, that in his words, we are not free and the sky can still fall on our heads, and above all else, the theater is made to teach us this. The second, that theater must rediscover a power and mysticism reminiscent of ancient tragedies, but in text that resonates with the modern audience. With these two ideas in mind, I set out to find a play. It was by chance that I knocked off my bookshelf the Sophoclean Oedipus. I opened it up and began to read. Here it was. Not a play about infanticide and patricide, but a story about how fast one can fall, and how quickly one's worst fears can be realized. A month later, I discovered a rare 1960s translation of a Roman version of the same myth. Here it was, the version that rediscovered that ancient power, because unlike Sophocles, Seneca wrote in raw, barbaric text filled with imagery that created an ominous mood and covered its characters with an atmosphere of thick smoke. Here also was the words that resonate with the modern audience. The translator, Ted Hughes, had replaced the antiquated verses with contemporary raw poetry. For 5 weeks, I worked with my actors on a script that I myself adapted from 3 different versions, 2 translations of the Senecan version and one of the Sophoclean version. The play that you are seeing today is a world premiere, a script performed for the first time yesterday. So without further ado, I give to you the second ever production of this version of Seneca's Oedipus.
Countryside around is empty. The farmers are all dead. The workers all dead. Their children all dead. Plague owns everything. What's happened to your armies, Rome? All those brave men of yours, they've gone under the plague. They marched so bravely out, past the last frontiers, victory after victory, right away onto the world's rim, leaning their banners against the sun's very face. The conquerors, where are they? Everybody ran from them, the rich nations' armies, everybody ran. Cities empty, scattered. Not anymore, Rome. Where are your armies now, Rome? They're finished. The plague touched them, and they vanished, finished, rubbished into earth. Where's God? God has run away. He rots and stinks, too. There never was a God. There's only death.
cannot pierce through to us. Heaven is cut off. We are buried here between our walls. Nothing can escape the plague. It fastens on everybody. Young, old, men, women, children, no distinction. And prayers are useless. Medicine is useless. Nurse and doctor going to the flames. Every hand that's stretched out to help, the plague grips it.
Oedipus, you are the man we rely on. You are the king, the strength if we have strength. The heavier the threat, the stronger we should find you to bear it. For every challenge and answer.
I've proved my courage often enough.
That was yesterday. It is no use to us. Today we need it.
Plague is more than enough for any king. But something beneath, something under the roots of it is worse.
The dead are burning and rotting. The living are dying. These are your people. What could be worse? When I carried my sons, I carried them for death. I carried them for final disaster. When I carried my first son, did I know what was coming? Did I know what bloody footprints were hurrying together in my body? Did I know what past and unfinished reckonings were getting flesh again inside me? Did I have a say when lives came to me and told me some priestess, some crock had predicted that that person inside me, that son, would grow to murder his father and therefore had to die, had to lose his life moments after he was given it, all on the whim of some prophecy. I knew the thing in my womb was going to have to pay for the whole past. I knew the future was waiting for him like a man-eater in a cave, was going to ask for everything, happiness, strength, and finally life. I carried him for this, for pain and for fear, for the cruelty of other men and his own cruelty. I knew. But I carried him not only for this, I carried him to be the king of this. And my blood didn't pause, didn't hesitate in my womb considering the futility. It poured on into him. What was he? A bag of blood, a screaming mouth. He was a king's son. He was a man's shape. He was perfect. Eyes perfect. Feet perfect. Fingers perfect. The last chance for God to walk on earth and to live. He only had to live. And what if, at that moment, after all that, a doubt had turned him back?
If I turn back, whatever there is that frightens men in this world, whatever shape, terror, pain, and death can come in, cannot turn me back. Not even fate frightens me.
There's something wrong with the sun. The light seems to bulge and waver as if it were a skin ready to split open and tear. Everything green has withered. The hills that were cool with forest, they're dusty ridges. Last night the earth shook. It heaved like deep water in a harbor. The wells filled in with blood. I saw my own dead body in the gutter.